Welcome to the free-to-play Rares Only Plus series. On this account, I've been progressing through the game using champions who are rare, uncommon, or common, plus any champion who is free and permanently available to all players. And today, we have soloed Bommal on hard mode. For the first time on this account, I've beaten Bommal on hard mode. This is the first time I have faced Bommal on hard. And as you can see, Longsword Torux, thanks to his block damage passive, he's able to solo this fight on full auto. There's another rare who can do it on who can solo it, but sometimes you have to manual to get the timing of the block damage correct. But because this is on a passive that triggers when he's dealt damage, when the first Dread Bomb explodes, it triggers the passive, places block damage on himself, and then when the second Dread Bomb explodes, he's got block damage up. So as long as you don't die from the first hit of the first Dread Bomb, you're good to go. And he also happens to be the perfect affinity for Bommal, being strong affinity, which is spirit to Bommal's force. So yeah, like it's not a question if he can do it. It's a matter. The question isn't can he do it. The question is your gear good enough? So it is going to be pretty gear intensive. My gear is kind of bad. As I free to play, rares only plus. The gear is what it is. I've only been farming gear using champions who are rare, uncommon, common, or free and permanently available. That was actually really close there. That's the closest I've seen him get to death, but he's still stabilized. So obviously it's going to require much higher gear requirements to do the higher levels, but all that will take is a matter of time farming gear. He just full auto soloed Bommal. Wow. 12 minutes isn't bad either. And so these two were to help him get through the first wave. Well, let's take a look at his build and his Masteries. I had to steal some of my Drexlar's gear to make it work. Drexlar is my normal dungeon solo champion on this account. So what do we got? I think this may be a detriment because Bommal does strip the buffs, and sometimes when the buffs get stripped, he places debuffs, I think in the form of his protected bomb debuffs. I might have gotten that wrong. He does something bad when buffs get stripped. I didn't really think about that until I was in the fight. But in my initial thinking was, okay, I'll use emergency heal. But I'm thinking that might not be quite so good. But it worked for this, but it could be a liability at higher stages. Let's look at the Masteries first. So I went more HP to get a bigger heal from the regen and immortal sets. This to give bigger heals from regen and immortal, same with this, and etc. Going down here to Spirit Haste, so he gets an extra 8 speed for each dead ally. So as the allies die as he's going through the waves, he will gain an additional 24 speed. And then on the offense tree, I took crit rate. He doesn't need attack, so this is obviously worthless. Because we have Life Drinker here, heals by 5% of the damage inflicted when he's attacking from 50% HP or less. I thought it would be good to give him Grim Resolve so he deals more damage when he's at 50% HP or less, so he gets a little bit more healing that way. Obviously crit damage to come down here to Life Drinker, we just talked about that. But Whirlwind of Death increases his speed by 6 for each enemy killed up to 18. So he needs to get at least 3 kills on the wave, which is why I didn't just throw in a whole bunch of crazy nukers to help push him through. He kind of did. Bellower killed most of the first wave, but Bellower died early on into the second wave, and he kind of just cleaned up the second wave by himself. And then Wrath of the Slain to give him more damage for all his dead allies, more damage against targets with higher max HP, Kill Streak, Methodical to increase the damage of his A1, and War Master, this is where our damage comes from. Damage from War Master scales off the enemy max HP, and it will deal damage to the boss equal to 10% of his max HP. Oh no, 4% of the boss's max HP when attacking bosses. So it's slightly less than what a poison would deal to Bommal. Look at him looking all cocky and confident. Okay, so artifacts. We have Regen and Immortal. So we're just... This build, I wasn't actually resisting most of the things. So I think resistance is actually futile or less important, I guess. So it could be possible that I could find a faster build for him. This isn't like some sort of Giga Chad Mega Speed Tune. It's just he needs to take enough turns that this cooldown, or as long as he takes enough turns so that his cooldown refreshes before the next batch of Dread Bombs explode, That's kind of the idea here. Because it places a block damage buff on him for 1 turn while incoming damage exceeds 20% of his max HP. So as long as he's not getting hit hard enough by Bommal to trigger this, this should always trigger when the first Dread Bomb explodes and protect him from the second Dread Bomb exploding. So whether or not this will work at higher stages is going to depend entirely upon your gear, or it could be that at higher stages you will need to speed tune it, so when Bommal attacks you and triggers this, he doesn't get another turn for the block damage to wear off before the Dread Bombs explode. There's probably a way to do it. I'm not smart enough to do that, but I did figure out this can work. It's very exciting. What else have we got going on this week? Last night on stream, I decided to level up Harrier for my Sacred Order damage dealer alongside Aethel. I did manage to beat the boss and make a little bit of progress, but it was only the second boss, not the final boss. I think I'm going to need to build a healer. I put up a poll on my community page asking you guys who you thought would be a better healer for my faction wars, War Priest or Mother Superior. The vast majority voted in favor of Mother Superior, but I completely forgot about Castigator, who I believe has an HP equalization in his kit. So right here, heals all allies with the lowest HP by 20% of his max HP, then equalizes the HP of... So if I put him in regen and he's constantly full HP, every time he uses this, it will bring everybody else to full HP automatically. And it's on a 4-turn cooldown, but he grants an extra turn, so it's on an effective 3-turn cooldown. And on top of that, he receives less damage from enemies under provoke, and he provokes on his A1. Damage that scales on HP. So I think this is, even though I did this poll between these two, I think Castigator is the play. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about him. I've been saving him in my vault for this purpose exactly. I got one saved for the fusion and one for faction wars. I just forgot about him. So thank you. So thank you to Jake Zapita. Jake, thank you very much for reminding me. I really appreciate that, because I was about to take the plunge on War Priest just because she has the A1 freeze and the increased attack for Harrier's damage. I thought that was good, but good call out. You're a lifesaver. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, that's my progress there. I was planning on trying to tackle Faction Wars this coming Thursday. Normally I work on Thursdays, but I took the day off because it's back to school night for my daughter, so I was going to go meet my daughter's teachers. And on that Thursday, Undead Horde will be open. So the plan was to do a live stream Thursday night and try to make serious progress in Undead Horde's faction crypt. But I've depleted my silver reserves tinkering around with... I guess I could just farm some spider. I'll try to get my silver back up, and if I can indeed farm up enough silver that I think I will be able to actively try to take down faction wars on Undead Hordes, I will continue with that plan. So right now it's looking like we're going to try to do it live on Thursday, so tune in for that. But if not, then I'll let you guys know in advance. I'll do a community post or something. But anyway, that's enough of that. Whew. I'm just so pumped that I beat Bommal on hard. I tried several different ways. I tried doing a Drexlar solo. That didn't work. I tried doing some stuff with Master Butchers here. That didn't work. And then I just started thinking, like, oh, Longsword Torox has this block damage passive. Maybe he can do it. And he did it. So, Bommal 10 hard down. So now we just have to fight 90 or 50 and 90. So fingers crossed. I don't think we'll beat 90. It took me quite a bit longer on my last account to do 90. And I had access to champions like Duchess, Vogoth, Geomancer, like Walking Tomb Drang for burns and all that stuff. Like, I had a much better team on that account than I will have access to on this account. So I would be surprised if I was able to take down Bommal 90 this rotation. But knowing that Longsword Torox can do it has sort of given me that motivational boost that I need. And I think the play is just keep farming as much regen gear as possible. And try to get as much speed and defense as possible. Or HP and defense as possible in the process. And unfortunately, there's really no way for me to farm immortal. I just have to cross my fingers and hope that Clan Boss is kind to me. So, I guess, yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot I could do on that. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to report for this week. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you to my legendary tier channel member Dex for your continued support. Hopefully, I will see you all in another video soon, but until next time, everyone, happy raiding.